Hello, how are you? Welcome, dear teachers and tutors, to this induction workshop for our Teacher Tutor Diploma program. Today, I am here at our main campus. You can find it at www.campusfmn.com. On this site, you will find all the information about our Advanced Comprehensive Educational Program. Here, we can see the various languages available in our Teacher Tutor Diploma program. This is the topic we will be addressing today. Here we find access to our platforms in Spanish, English, Portuguese, French, and Italian. Depending on your language, you should click on the flyer that indicates the cohort to which you belong. Or simply choose the one that matches your language, since every month we update with different cohorts. Today, as we are recording this video, it is January. That is why we see information about these platforms. But remember, this is simply for illustration purposes. The same procedure I'm going to show you today can be done in any month of the year and with any cohort that is active at the time of your enrollment. On this occasion, I will be using the Spanish platform as a reference to show what procedure we will need to follow. To access our platform, complete the activities, and learn a bit more about the asynchronous work in our Teacher Tutor Diploma program. So now I am going to click on the Spanish platform to view all the relevant information. But remember, based on your language, you will select the flyer that corresponds to your preferred language or the one in which you are registered. Now we see the campus for the Spanish language. Here we can see all the details of the active cohorts, which are for January 2026. Something important is that on this campus, we will always find active registrations for this month of January. We have cohort number 50, but if you are already part of one of the cohorts that are listed near the bottom of the page, you should not register again. You simply need to look for the link to your cohort in order to access the system. But for new members who are just getting to know our program, it is very important that you access the manuals corresponding to your cohort. Today, I will be using cohort number 50 as a reference. All we need to do is click on the cohort you are interested in. In this section, we will be able to find digital documents, and the number of these will vary depending on each language. In the case of Spanish, tutorials are attached for registering either from a mobile phone or from a computer. In every language, we will find a didactic guide, since this document explains in a universal way the context, methodology, work plan, and evaluation plan of the program in which I am enrolled. It is very important that you read it carefully. You can either download this information or read it digitally. This document is very practical so that you can fully understand the guidelines of the Teaching Tutor Diploma program. One of the most important parts of this document is being able to find out which institutions are validating the diploma program in the country where I am, or to find out which countries are also participating in my cohort, since remember, month after month, we are forming various partnerships to reach more schools and institutions. As the third document, we will find a navigation guide. In this document, we will find a step-by-step guide on how to access the platform. Basically, the workshop we are doing right now will be described in this document with images and text, so that you can also have it at your, if you have any questions. And finally, in every cohort and language, there is a schedule. It is very important that you check which day your synchronous session will take place. It may vary between Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, depending on the language you are in. So in this document, you will find all this attached information to join the WhatsApp group. In this group, the virtual tutors or coordinators will send you the invitations to the synchronous sessions. It is very important that you schedule your participation and get trained with us. And, well, this is the information we find in the manuals or downloads of interest for the generation we are enrolled in. I'm going to go back to access the virtual platform. And now all I have to do is look for the option to enter the active generations. As I mentioned, we are going to the Generation 50 platform. All we have to do is click on the banner or where it says Generation 50 or the number you belong to. On this same campus, it will remind us which generation we are entering, since each system is independent. And you must only enter the generation you registered for so that the system allows you to access. Now, I apologize for having already logged in and not logged out, but now we will do the process together. Something very important is that here we will also be able to see the date I have set to finish my diploma teacher tutor. It is also very important that you make a note, write it down, and have it in your calendar so you can create your own schedule of activities and finish within the established time. To access the platform, we are going to look for the word access, which also appears with a padlock icon to enter the system. The information it will ask us for to access will be the username and password. We set up this information when we registered for the Teacher Tutor Diploma program. If we encounter any technical issues with our current level of access, we can reevaluate our options. Send an email to my support colleagues. Technical support, here it is. inquiries@fmmsupport@gmail.com. Here we find the information, and I also want to remind you that we have a program that is 100% free and 100% online for all our languages and participants. Now then, I am going to log in with my virtual doctor user and enter my password. You can click here on Show, and the password will appear so you can verify it and avoid any issues. Now I am going to click on Access. And I will find two virtual classrooms, New Diploma, Teacher, Tutor, and Virtual Library. In this second classroom, we don't have to do any activities. It's simply a space where the digital books of the Marcelino Munoz Foundation are stored, which will be useful for your teaching practice, so you can get to know the Life Purpose book, the Tutor Teacher's Decalogue, the teaching guide, and a proposal. Latin America heading towards the year 2050. Now we really need to get involved and do some activities. It is the new Teacher Tutor Diploma. We're going to click here, and we observed our virtual platform. Here you can find videos, tutorials, and important information to help you access our platform and learn more about our teacher training program. Tutor, we have the schedule for our video conferences. We also saw this information a moment ago in another section. Here it is so that you always have it within reach. Next, we see a checklist, which is an activity tracker. Here you can enter and keep track which activities are still pending, what your progress percentage is, among other information. A bar will appear here so you can monitor your percentage. And in these spaces, a small box with an arrow will appear when the activity is already completed. In this case, they don't appear for me because I'm logged in as a virtual tutor, and for that reason, they're not showing up, but you will be able to see them. No problem at all. Something I want to emphasize is this learning path. Here we can see the 10 available modules. Remember, you need to complete these activities, and this learning path will highlight in red when activities are still pending. Once you have completed the modules quiz, it will turn green, and then we will see. This would account for 50% of the activities on the platform. The other 50% would be attendance. This will also vary depending on the language, since only in Spanish are 25 attendances required, but in English, French, Portuguese, and Italian, it's 10 attendances. So here you will be able to see the number 10 or 25 as applicable, and this would be the 50%. 50 plus 50 gives us our final diploma, which we will be able to download. Similarly, the platform itself will indicate our progress with different colors, red, green, or blue when we are finishing each one. Finally, we find our access to the available modules. You need to start with the general module, and then you'll be able to progress until you reach the final module. At the end of the platform, you will also be able to find the technical support email, the WhatsApp number for virtual tutors, and the tutors' email addresses. In these spaces or icons, you will also find access to the WhatsApp group. It is very important that you join so you receive all the information in a timely and proper manner. As a reference, I will be using module number 1. The structure in all the modules is basically the same. It consists of 2 digital books, 2 activities, and the issuance of the certificate for module number 1. I am going to enter a digital book to explain a bit more to you. Upon entering the digital book, what we see are the instructions. This activity is a book, and for it to be marked as completed, you must view all its pages. Use the arrows to move forward or backward. And here it explains to us which little arrows we need to click on. Here it appears for us. We have 2 methods to read the digital books, either by using the arrows or from the table of contents. Here, this option automatically popped up for me, but it can also be hidden, and this is how we find it. A little box with 2 arrows. Here we click right in this space, and the table of contents appears, where it shows me the topic and the total number of pages that this first resource will have. In this case, there are 8 pages, and here we see the titles of each one. To move forward, I have to click, in this case, on topic 2, and so on. As we could see on page 1, it was accompanied by text and video. Here you have to play it so that it can be marked as done. Once you reach page number 8, this activity will change and say done. Here I am already on page number 7. And since I haven't finished viewing all the pages and all the videos, this activity is incomplete, even though I'm already on page 7. It's very important that you play all the videos and read carefully because I'm about to explain where we're going to use this information. I'm going to go back to the part or structure of Module 1 since we see a second option, motivational capsules and recorded lectures. If I couldn't attend the live session, there won't be any problem, because here I can review the necessary information to learn a bit more about the topic that was covered. And here we find the recording of the lecture. As activities, we have a forum to reflect on the lectures, the first purpose, and also based on the digital books. We find the introduction and the instructions, which are basically for you to write your response. Click on reply to answer the question that we see here in bold. And where do we find the option to reply? Well, here in the box, we see reply in a lower corner. We click on it and this other box appears. Here we will be able to write. You can start describing your answer to the question, which will be based on the digital books, the lectures, and the contributions made during the synchronous sessions, which we usually do together. Once we have our answer, all we need to do is click on Send to Forum, and we will be able to see our response, as well as those of our classmates. Here we can also find various strategies and notes to apply in our teaching practice and continue improving on the topic we are addressing. As the second and final activity, we will find a quiz. This quiz will consist of true or false questions. Each participant will have 3 attempts allowed. The grading method is the highest score you achieve in the first or any of the 3 attempts. The passing grade is 7 out of 10 points. And there is no time limit to answer, so we can do it calmly. We can review the answers, analyze them, and once we finish or submit our completed quiz, the feedback score will appear, showing us which questions we got right or wrong. It will all be displayed there. It will also show what the correct answer was. Once we finish all the activities, we will be able to download our certificate for Module 1 and so on for the following modules. We will be able to keep progressing on our virtual platform. Finally, I'm going to go to Module 10 since, as I mentioned at the beginning, the structure is basically the same. It only changes a little in Module 10. In this module, we will find an additional section such as the closing area and the issuance of the completion diploma. We will find the attendance percentage activity. In order to complete this activity, we must have finished all 10 modules. And the required attendances, whether it's 10 or 25 in our language, we will be able to see the instructions. And here as well is a summary, which is basically to press or click on Add Task. A box will appear that we will see. Instead of grade, it will say Add Submission. You need to click on Verify. All right, a box will appear where we need to enter the email address we used to fill out the registrations. You need to click on Save Changes, and the submission will be made automatically. The evaluation may take up to 48 hours. It's very important to keep this in mind. Let the indicated time pass, and then we will be able to download our diploma. Final. What will we find in this section? Download your final diploma. We have two options. The first option is a diploma valid for all countries except Bolivia and Peru, since according to the regulations or public policies of those countries, it is considered a diploma course only if it has a certain number of hours. And with only 300 hours, it is considered just a program. That's why we have an option here for our colleagues from Bolivia and Peru. Don't worry, we've got it here for you. Download the program diploma valid only for Bolivia and Peru. You can download both options. There's no problem. They will be enabled for everyone and it will simply be your choice. This activity will not be available until we meet the required attendance. Also, as an additional feature on our platform, we will be able to find the donation option to our foundation, Marcelino Muñoz. Although it is a 100% free and virtual program, we have the option of donation, since we are often asked about it. How can you contribute to this educational transformation that Dr. Marcelino Muñoz, president and founder, invites us to undertake, whom we also see on screen here? And, well, colleagues, that would be a summary and a very cordial and affectionate welcome to each of you. I sincerely hope that this will be a very enriching program, one that can transform your teaching practice and that we can bring it into our own spaces, to our classroom, to our community, to our families, and continue transforming the lives that our world needs so that we can have a better quality of life. The entire technical support team and virtual tutors are at your service and at your disposal. Remember, you can contact us at fmm.support@gmail.com. Here is the email, and you can also contact the team of virtual tutors via WhatsApp, +528 8115 004100, and at the email doctor.virtualfmm.com. Welcome, dear teachers and doctors. We are at your service. The entire team of the Marcelino Mons Foundation. Thank you very much for your attention and for making it to this part of the video. See you soon.